Yo, what's up, guys? Good morning. Happy Thursday. More news on J-Rod. You wake up, I wake up, and this content's already here. So we'll look at. I'm just gonna do a little teaser now, and then we'll get into the story a little bit later. It says I had to speak up. B team female member opens up about J-Rod's expulsion for misconduct. So yeah, not good. We got the image of a lady wearing the B team, outfit, and then you got a little some AI generated image right here, and you got J-Rod over there. So we're definitely gonna hit up BJJEE in a little bit. Let's read some comments real fast. It says many women at B team were affected by J-Rod's activities. Read more in our bio or swipe to see the story. We're going to look at the story a little bit later, but we're going to read some comments right here and see what's going on. We covered this story in detail yesterday, and then, I was at the gym talking about it some more. So like the past 2 or 3 days, it's been nothing but J-Rod. So let's see. B team might be the first famous BJJ team to operate with integrity. So many scandals get buried. I respect that everyone owned it, including J-Rod. J-Rod is having his reckoning, and he's owning it. Despite the shame and embarrassment, B Team is drawing a hard line. Craig and his co-owner, might joke a lot. Oh, well, his company. Yeah, Craig and co. might joke a lot. In fact, a lot of people didn't know if this was a serious thing because they joke so much. So maybe that's a lesson for them. Maybe they need to, maybe take things a little bit more seriously. Because, when you continue to make all these jokes, we don't know when you're being serious or when things are real, the situations are real. Let's see. It's a sad situation. They might joke a lot, but they are proving that they care about their students and culture. It's a sad situation, but I feel that it's being handled well. My heart goes out to the women that were victimized. The match should be safe for everyone. My prayers go out to J-Rod. He admits his sickness and wants to do something about it. At the very least, I admire his accountability. A lot of people were saying that he wasn't very apologetic. I would have type something in the chat GPT, okay, come up with a statement to help me calm this situation down or something. I don't know. Or hire a PR company. I don't know. Yo, big bro, give me some money so I can hire a PR company. I agree. J-Rod took accountability for his actions. Well, he didn't really talk about all the other stuff. He didn't, go into any detail. Did he really take accountability? I don't know. You guys let me know if you think he took accountability. I don't know. And is now seeking help. That's better than most people. Most people got nothing but excuses. J-Rod admitted to his faults. Hey, yo, who made this? Yo, do you guys see my thumbnail? My thumbnail. I got like a angry mob behind J-Rod with the pitchfork and the torch. Internet. What are the women accusing he did? What is misconduct? We get people that just, I don't know. They're not tapped in. Does it matter? Someone said, Jesus Christ. Oh, we got a new, did I tell you guys we got a new, I'm playing around with a new setting so you guys can hear the messages. Yeah, I'm hoping to. Well, it worked for about 2 hours. So I restarted my computer, restarted OBS, my software. So hopefully we're good. I was about to end the stream anyway, but it just cut me off. I don't think it was YouTube. I think it was my software. One of my softwares that I use. Someone says, does it matter? Yes, it definitely matters. We don't just, oh, well, I can't read that. I was talking to Chu, and man, we work so hard to get the ladies and just new members in general at our gym. B team, they could probably get new members all the time. People walk in, trying out the classes or dropping in. But for, normal gyms, we have to work really hard to get people to stay and, not be afraid of jiu-jitsu and want to try it out and stick with it. So, any story like this or any other kind of misconduct or bad behavior, it's just so hard in the regular gyms. Like, we can't afford to have any situations like this because, man, that could decimate. B teams, they're famous. They're going to have a lot of people. They're going to be okay. But for regular gyms, that could make or break us. One bad review, one bad situation that gets out of hand, man, that could end the whole gym. B team will be okay, and I don't know about J-Rod. A lot of people were saying that J-Rod would be okay. They're like, I'll blow over. I don't know. I guess I'll B team baddies. What's up, DJ Storm, Winter Storm? Yeah, we got the new audio. Maybe I'll change the voice. We got it said Gordon. It had a British guy named Gordon, so I was like, let's put this voice up here. Someone says there's nothing wrong with questioning anytime someone has any sort of allegations pinned on them. We know some people have had their lives ruined over lies. Not saying this guy didn't do what he did. Well, he admitted to it. He admitted to it. Where's your argument? There's nothing wrong with asking questions. Stop promoting this insane mentality where we just go, well, we don't have all the details, but I'm sure the people involved have all the details and they made a decision. Literally, read the article. That's what we're going to do later. Jay himself made a statement referenced in the article. People can't read, bro. That's tough, but it doesn't change the principle. I said, buddy. I'm not gonna change my principle. I said. Misconduct can mean a lot of things. So yeah, people are asking what the actual allegations are. Well, go read the article. The article. Well, I'm reading the article for you guys, so you don't have to worry. But other people, you got to read the article for yourself. So as opposed to respecting the privacy of individuals as requested by Craig, Jay, and others, it should be thrown out in the open for whose benefit. Of course it matters. DM, thanks for the role. Making inappropriate comments on the mat and purposely touching inappropriately are wildly different things. Nitpicking. J-Rod should branch off and start the D team. I mean, who would go train there? That's the issue. Let's see, man, this is real bad. I'm over here waiting on Gordon to post a meme about it. Surprised he hasn't done it already. Yeah, for sure. If it happened to them or their family, they'll be up in arms. Some people, I think it's empathy. Some people can't relate to other people's situations or emotions. So, I mean, yeah, that guy, he's probably on Reddit. That's the people on Reddit right there. That's the people on Reddit. That's why I make fun of people on Reddit. And I used to be on Reddit for a little bit too, posting my content, but not really so much anymore. So I don't think Gordon has really talked about it. He's kind of busy with his own school. You don't want to ruin his. He just started a new business. He ain't trying to ruin that. I'm guessing it's a glass house type situation. He said he respect. I mean, there ain't nobody there. Actually, no. That's the town I go to when I go to Jersey. Man, I don't know anybody that trains there. I mean, shout out to those guys. They got the big B team logo in their gym, but I don't know who's there in there. Maybe that would be a good. There's nobody there, so you'll be okay. All right, J-Rob, we're sending you to New Jersey, bro. Sending you back to New Jersey, actually. I think he's from Jersey. I forget what part, though. Let's see. He said he respects Jay and he has never said anything bad about Gordon before. He also said he doesn't know the straight facts, so he won't comment at all. I have plenty of what you seek. What is the case? Maybe it's time to drop the rod and just be Jay. Change your name, bro. South Jersey. Jersey's a weird state, guys, because it's kind of like, I don't know, slanted. Jersey slanted, bro. It says the article is nothing burger. What did he do? Dang, we got some bots on here. Yeah, on Reddit we were on Reddit all yesterday. We might jump back on there for a little bit, but I think they locked the comments down. Yep, GTA. I do like New York. I like to visit New York. I never really stayed in New York, so. Or we say Newark. Newark. Well, yeah, Newark definitely. Newark, yeah, for sure. Yo, shout out to Newark Penn Station, bro. It'd be rough, bro. People trying to scam you on the train. So we're gonna read any hidden comments. We're gonna read the article, guys. I just wanted to warm you guys up. You guys saw the thumbnail. You want to see what's going on. So I think one of the female members is gonna speak up. And I don't think it's just one or two ladies, guys. It might be more than those. So we're gonna move on to a couple other stories before we hit the main story from that article, that post. So I believe we got a new matchup for Mika Galvão. Can we translate it? That translation is never too accurate. But we got Guy Mendez, we got Mika, we got Tynan, and we got Melky Galvão. So I believe this might be coming up for, is it who's number one? Is this the next matchup? Maybe we'll watch their first match. That was a pretty good match. So, I mean, both of these guys are probably the best in the world, and they're in the same weight class. So the last time they fought, I believe Mika was a brown belt, and he beat Tynan. So potentially, Tynan might be taking the L. And, shout out to Big Breakfast, bro. Elijah Dorsey. He gave both these guys good matches, 1 week, then the next week. So I want to see him in there. Can we do a 3-man round robin or something? Melky Galvão, this is Mika Galvão's father, that kid's father. Even though we go different paths, we share something very strong, the love for the sport and the desire to see jiu-jitsu grow more and more. I admire so much the work, the legacy, and the seriousness with which you guys drive this journey. I believe we are all building together an important chapter in the history of jiu-jitsu, and I know that moments like this will inspire future generations to understand that the top is not achieved alone, but with respect, purpose, and mutual respect. Maybe they were training together. I'm not sure. It says, beautiful gym. Congratulations for all the work and success to many more Mikas and Tynans in the generations to come, and may jiu-jitsu continue to grow with it. Alrighty. I'm hoping they're doing that naturally. You hope you can grow those guys naturally and not doing anything to those kids. That's another article for it. That's a different story for a different day. So I'm not sure if they were training together or what. So who knows? I want to see these guys fight. We got another story from BJJ Mental Models. Shout out to Steve Kwan. So it's one of the sponsors for the show, for me. So let's read what they got to say, and maybe it'll be good for you guys. It says, I've made our new course on gym culture free for our BJJ users. Alrighty. My coaches out there, you might need to check this out. Hey folks, we recently published an all levels course on gym culture featuring Jesse Walker from Rough Hands BJJ. If the name sounds familiar, it might be because... Yeah, let's not start that one. Let's not start that one. We just go on current events, guys. If I had to go back through past events, we would be on here for a long time. But yes, he is a part of TLI. Yeah, that's a whole different... I'll leave it up to you guys to do your research on that. We're just current events. For now, that's kind of the best thing for me. I ain't trying to get beat up. or jumped. The Brazilians might jump me though, for sure. Brazilians might come for me. I can't have the Brazilians and the Americans coming after me, guys. That's not fair. You guys can't set me up and have the Brazilians and the Americans coming after me, bro. Let's see. If the name sounds familiar, it might be because, according to CNN, Jesse is a world-leading expert on guerrilla combatives. Oh. But more importantly, Jesse is also an awesome human being and an amazing jiu-jitsu instructor. I want to help expand his reach as widely as possible, so I decided to remove the price from his course and make it free for everyone. Rough Hands Culture is a 3-part audio exploration of what makes a good gym culture, appropriate for students and instructors of all levels. This is intended to be a 2-sided course. First, to help students identify gyms with solid culture. Second, to help coaches build it at their gyms. This is super important, man, especially with the Craig Jones stuff, the J-Rod stuff. So yeah, if you guys want to check out that, it's free on BJJ Mental Models. Oh, he's in Louisville, Kentucky. Okay. I gotta plug my guys in Louisville. We got Louisville BJJ. I gotta shout out my crew. You guys know I got a crew everywhere, bro. Can I duplicate tab? There we go. You know, I got my crew in Louisville. Oh, Louisville Jiu-Jitsu Academy. Man. So we got Joe and Yanni. This is their school in Louisville. Yeah, they post some really good, audio master classes and some really good podcasts. You know, that's how I first met Stephen Kwan. I did one of the podcasts. I forget what my topic was on, but you know, he lets you pick the topic and you kind of go in depth. So, funnily enough, my friend Joe here's the brown belt here. His brother is John Thomas. So I know you guys love John Thomas. So this is his older brother. So shout out to Joe and Yanni in Louisville, Kentucky. You know, really great school. And it's really cool because Joe's a professional magician. So, you know, not only is he good at jiu-jitsu, but he's like really great at magic too. So if you guys are ever there, go check him out. Tell him I sent you. Okay. Yeah, really great. What's up, Yanni? Happy birthday, Yanni. I think it was your birthday. And there's John right there. Look at the bros working together. Let me not play that music, though. So this is the school, Old Louisville Jiu-Jitsu Academy. And I guess John Thomas was rolling through. Yo, John, you're a rolling stone, bro. Yeah, beautiful academy. You know, I love that gym. So shout out to those guys. We couldn't see the picture. It was just that. John, where's your picture at, bro? Was there something else I wanted to see? So we got the BJJ Mental Models. Let's move on. So we got Fabricio Andre. So he says, everything in high performance BJJ has a cost to the body. So this is something that I learned that, you know, being a professional, as much as we are in jiu-jitsu, is tough. It's almost not about being healthy. It's about just basically damage. How much damage can your body take and keep going with? So Fabricio recently emphasized that even though he's never used banned substances, what does that mean? Himself, he acknowledges the reality many athletes face in high-level competition. Here is what he had to say about the anti-doping protocols he's experienced both in IBJJF competitions and while competing for one, for example. I spent 2 or 3 hours drinking water to be able to urinate. This part sucks, but you have to have control. I mean, you just drink the water and it comes out. Though committed to staying clean, Andre didn't demonize athletes who seek performance optimization. I mean, he's super ripped up. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying he's super ripped up. He looks like a bodybuilder. Shout out to my boy Pedro. He has a really great joke. It's what's the difference between a BJJ fighter and a bodybuilder? Can anybody guess the difference? In fact, he argued that access to recovery tools, even controversial ones, can sometimes be necessary at the elite levels, as being at the top when it comes to performance is not exactly healthy. I think it's necessary. High-performance athletes have to have access to resources to hurt himself less, have more longevity, recover more, because high performance is not health. Andre challenged the black and white narrative often associated with doping in sports. As for him, almost everything in high-level training carries a physical cost. Heel hooks are bad, arm locks are bad, training 6 hours a day is bad, so almost everything in high-performance sport has a cost to the body. And we got another comment on this kind of issue here. I'm all for training smart, guys. You know, there's a way to train smart. That you have to make changes. So think about all the guys at Masters. You know, they all made changes from when they were adult. At least the ones that have been around. So I think there's a way to be high performance, a high level athlete, and to take care of your body. But, you know, I think most people are going to look for the shortcuts. They're going to look for the substances. They're going to look for whatever they can take to make it easier. You know, you guys know your boy All Natural, bro. I got some watermelon. What else I got? Got some cherry juice. You know, I got into martial arts to be healthy, to live like a good life. I didn't get into this to, you know, whatever those guys are doing, bro, that ain't healthy. You know, that stuff ain't healthy, bro. We've got some little bit of fun news. We got Mackenzie Dern. She's showing the Hawk Tua girl how to do the RNC. Oh, Hawk Tua, remember that girl, guys? I know you guys know that girl right there, Mackenzie Dern. I know you guys be following her. It says in one of the more unexpected jiu-jitsu crossover, crossovers in recent memory, UFC star Mackenzie Dern gave an impromptu rear naked choke lesson, not at a gym but at a celebrity poker game. I'll leave that up to you to decide. You know, if you prescribed it by a doctor, but they're quick to prescribe that stuff. So yeah, I was about to say, I think a lot of you guys want Mackenzie Dern to put you in the RNC. So none other than the viral sensation Haley Welsh, better known online as the Hawk Tua girl. The event brought together a surprising mix of personalities, including Welsh and former NFL running back Adrian Peterson. And at one point, Hawk Tua, we don't know who Welsh is. Hawk Tua attempted to apply a rear naked choke on Peterson, but the technique needed work, and that's when Dern stepped in. A world champion in both MMA and grappling, Dern is one of the most accomplished female BJJ athletes of all time. Yeah, I don't know if you guys watched her when she was competing, but bro, she was like a submission expert. So she gave Hawk Tua a crash course on the technique, guiding her through the motion before demonstrating it herself, this time on Peterson. You know, when she put that thing on, he had to tap out. Dern even explained the key difference between cutting off someone's oxygen versus their blood supply when applying the choke. So can we see the video?
Oh my goodness.
Oh no, look at those skinny arms.
Yeah. No, it's not a
Look at that skinny arm. I don't think she can give a proper Hawk Tua.
Here we go.
Oh
no.
Uh-oh.
Oh, now
Come on,
Peterson's
Mackenzie, show her
in
how to do
trouble.
it.
Whatever you want, you just hold it. And
Oh, you
but
hold
keep it tight,
and
'cause
squeeze.
then he's gonna slowly go to sleep. Let him just hold it.
Yeah.
Keep it there,
Squeeze.
you know?
I got it.
Eventually he's gonna sleep, you know?
Okay, can you
'Cause
sleep?
Mackenzie, help her with that top arm. You see the top hand?
I mean,
Can you breathe?
Get that behind the head, Mackenzie.
But it's the blood. You gotta,
but that's different. That's the blood.
Oh.
close the artery.
Push your elbows together, Mackenzie don't
Let it
teach.
slowly-
Right?
Push the elbows together,
dear.
Mackenzie.
What do you want to
Push the elbows together,
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie.
Lost
Talk
him.
about the dreams, whatever.
Feel it coming?
Yeah, it's coming.
No, it's not.
Okay. I don't want to put you to sleep. You gotta go and play.
All right, Mackenzie gonna do it. Oh, all right, she got it. Look,
oh no.
why did Mackenzie help her?
Good night, AD.
That'll take care of it.
From all day to
Oh, she's
good
not trying to
night.
hurt him.
That'll do it.
Let me try.
Then it's like the air, you know? And then that's
Oh, he's done.
Oh my God.
All right, she put the hands on him. Mackenzie might have the Hawk Tua. The other girl, she too skinny to have the Hawk Tua.
Meanwhile, Dern's still in the hands.
I'm not. Oh no,
the people, they kind of go crazy.
they're gonna cancel me next, guys. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Bad joke. Bad joke.
There's one on the blood, on the arteries. they kind
all
of
I
like
got,
think
like,
they're
sleep.
okay, and then they fall asleep. You know. So
Do it to me.
Do it to me.
Come
Nah,
back
you gotta pay
awake,
for
are
that,
you,
bro.
like totally fine, or are you?
you're good. It just depends how long you're out for.
All right, dealer, where are we?
All right, shout out to Mackenzie. You know, she
is
Oh,
one of the best girls to
my-
do it.
Oh,
Goodness.
against
Arguably the most famous jiu-jitsu female athlete. Who's more famous than Mackenzie Dern, guys? Well, that's the way he would teach, right? He wouldn't show you the technique. He would let you discover the how to do it on your own. Mackenzie was not helping. Yeah, she was doing ecological. She she let Hawk Tua mess up that technique. Mackenzie don't be teaching though. You could tell. But who's more famous than Mackenzie, guys? In jiu-jitsu, I have no clue. I can't think of any lady in jiu-jitsu, pure jiu-jitsu person that's more famous than her. Kira Gracie was popular. Yeah, no such thing as technique. Yeah, apparently. We'll see. We're gonna see what the CJI results, man. We're gonna see if ecological actually works, guys. So we finally got Elijah Dorsey versus Mika. So pretty controversial match. We're gonna watch it. Hopefully it's regular speed. I watch matches a little bit faster than you guys. But let's see what happened during this match, okay?
Vamos aí então a primeira semifinal
At the Brazilian
do
stream.
GP, primeiro GP no guia da história do BJJ Stars. De um lado Mika Galvão, do outro lado Elijah Dorsey. Lembrando que do lado de lá também teremos a outra semifinal entre Roberto Gimenez e Oliver Taza. É elite
Very
do
similar
Morumbi. Diga
size.
lá, Vitor Dória.
Olha aí, ó. Brasil é Mika
Brasil.
Galvão, tá? Porque não tem outro brasileiro na parada mais.
Bem observado.
Elijah Dorsey's from
Então,
America,
temos aí
so you know
lutaço
everybody's
agora
rooting
aí.
for Mika.
Eu acredito muito que o Mika Galvão consiga essa vitória.
Collar tie, good work by Mika. Oh, nice
o
Elijah. He's working the head.
Ele
And
é
you know,
cara
Mika, he likes
clássico,
upper body stuff.
77
He likes
quilos, tá no
Greco. He likes
83
throws,
aí, com
suplexes.
sobra. O Mika já é um cara que já tá mais pesado, mais forte. E é o Mika Galvão, né, cara? Não
I'm just
precisa
saying
muito
wide
pensar, ele é
popularity,
absoluto
though.
piloto. Então, eu vejo aí uma
Because you got regular people that know who Mackenzie Dern is
tudo
because of the
correndo
UFC,
bem,
obviously.
Mas tem que passar pelo Elijah, que é pedreira, é osso duro de roer, vou te falar, viu?
Daí o Mika então.
Mika's heavy on the head. One thing you don't really see with jiu-jitsu, guys, is the footwork. I feel like we kind of miss out on the footwork. You see how we're static. And in wrestling, they have to keep moving their legs, their head, their hands. I think Elijah's doing a little bit better with the footwork. He's bugging the head, he's moving, good head position, circling. Mika's a little too upright. I don't know what he's kind of working like a judo. You know, he looks for like flying arm bars and stuff too, so maybe that helps him. Nice spin out. Hey.
Olha a guilhotina aí, ó.
It's hard to hold Mika's leg. He's so flexible. He looks a little too heavy on the head, but you know, he likes to do those jumping armbar and jumping guard, so that might be why he's a little bit more upright.
Ter a mão forte ali.
Com o Mika você nunca pode ficar muito tempo parado ali numa mesma posição. Né? Tem que se movimentar, não pode deixar ele se ajeitar.
And I feel like Elijah's doing a little bit better in the stand-up exchange, you know? Look at him. Bugging the head, controlling inside position.
Precisava, Gabriel Baby.
Tá com muito pudor aí, né?
The interesting thing with jiu-jitsu, sometimes, like, you know, sometimes your stand-up's not looking good that day, but your guard's looking good. And then vice versa. Sometimes your stand-up's looking, your guard's looking bad, but your stand-up looks good. So you got to kind of pick what to focus on for that tournament.
Elijah Dorsey, que tá aqui com o Doberman.
He's doing like a lot of foot sweeps. Okay, he goes to jump. He's got this overhook, which could lead to a mirror lock, but I think Dorsey's going to shake him off. Looks for a triangle, omoplata. He's able to shake him off. Looking for maybe a leg entry, but you know, Dorsey's good, bro.
Bela tentativa do Mika. Muito criativo também ele, né, Vitor?
I know a lot of you guys don't like TLI,
Ele
but
tem
I
um
mean,
leque de alternativas, de possibilidades.
Tem
I mean, you can't blame the students. You can't blame the students for what their instructors did or do or did.
Ele tem posição de tudo que é lado, finalização de tudo que é lado.
Especially like before he was even born.
Versátil,
I think Dorsey was like, they're both like 20s, early
É
20s.
realmente fenomenal. É uma alegria pra gente aqui, não só narrar a luta dele, mas ter ele representando
Got a double
o Brasil.
lasso by Mika. He's so flexible, bro. It's not fair. He's able to kick and stand up immediately.
Na falta de conseguir casar um adversário, ele pediu para participar.
I think Dorsey's
Eu acho isso
footwork's looking a little bit better. Although Mika,
não tem medo, não
he's also looking for guard
preocupado com
entries.
resultados. Ele visa o legado, palavras dele. Tá de parabéns.
Controlling inside tie, kind of like a Muay Thai control. And don't throw no knees, Elijah. Nice.
Agora tá valendo ponto.
He's on the tight
Golpe
waist.
preferido do Mika, hein?
Okay.
Entrar em queda ali, vai tomar um contra-golpe. Eu tava dizendo ele
A little
rapidamente sobre
bit more
Elijah,
movement than Mika.
cachorrão ali
Why was
na
Mika going a little
camiseta
slow that
dele.
day? His guard was great
Do
though.
Elijah é Brasil, tá?
You know,
Você não
especially when he
sabe.
fought
O
Roberto.
Elijah é aluno do Lloyd Irving, que é aluno do Léo Dalla, pô.
So
Entendeu?
Lloyd Irvin's under Leo Dalla, is a
Temos aí
Brazilian.
um cara, bom, se você for voltar na história de todo mundo, vai ser todo mundo no Brasil.
Vai
verdade
sempre
é essa.
cair algum brasileiro,
Mas daí tá aí o neto do Léo Dalla aí, ó, muito legal.
I believe he was
E
known
agora
for
valendo
Kimura.
pontos, né, Gabriel Baby?
Exatamente, né? A luta já tava
So
valendo ponto,
movement
o Mika
by
um pouco mais criativo,
Elijah.
né, como a gente falou. Uma luta bem estudada, bem equilibrada. Por enquanto, um ataque
They're both kind of being conservative. Mika had that one attack earlier.
entrada de queda.
He tries to wrestle up.
Ó, mas, ó, o Mika já consegue esse underhook que ele gosta bem, né?
He's got the head and arm, or
gosta muito
underhook and
disso aí.
head.
Mas vou te falar,
That was nice wrestle up. That was pretty quick.
muito bem posturado,
Opa.
tá muito bem posturado, tá bem
Mika's looking a little thick, bro.
controlado.
Too
E o
much
Mika
açaí,
vai
bro.
começar a tentar fazer
From-
o quê?
with his
Fazer a
girlfriend.
subida dele.
Ele mudou a
Elijah's kind of
estratégia
pushing him
agora.
around.
Isso, ele tá vendo que ele vai ter que pontuar, que ele vai ter que abraçar a cintura, segurar uma perna e subir com a
Is there a
perna.
second round to
Da
this?
regra, né?
Oh, just, I
É,
think just
Fácil,
one.
já que não tá indo em pé, eu vou pro chão.
Exato,
He's
isso é
pushing,
muito bom, pô, ver o Mika também fazer isso. Não é só aquele cara que dá tiro.
Overhook.
finalização, ó. Ficou o
Might be
braço,
looking
ficou
for
o braço,
armbar.
ficou o braço, hein?
Alrighty.
Ficou o braço.
You can't finish it.
Obviamente, o Elijah já tirou aquele braço
Hey,
dali,
oh,
aproveitando, né, que tá suado, escorregadio, vai tentar trabalhar essa passagem de guarda. Será, Vitor Dória?
Eu acho que passa, né? Porque o Mika é muito
Mika,
forte
oh,
pra
Mika.
ali.
Uou!
Guys, what technique was that, guys? What technique was that, guys? Let me rewind that.
Fazer isso. É,
Fez
exatamente.
parda, já que não tá indo em pé, eu vou pro chão.
Exato, o que é muito bom, pô, ver o Mika também fazer isso.
Yeah,
não é
but
só
listen,
aquele cara que
Jason,
dá tiro e
there's only one
finalização.
J-Flow, bro. We
Ficou o
can't
braço,
compete with J-Flow.
Ficou o braço.
Aí já, obviamente, o Elijah já tirou aquele braço dali, aproveitando, né, que tá suado.
You know, man,
passagem de guarda.
That might have been the most
Será,
exciting part of the
Vitor
match the
Dória?
whole time right there.
Eu não acho que passa, não, porque o Mika é muito forte, vai superar ali.
Oh,
Falei pra você.
what technique was
Falei
that,
pra
guys?
você. Ai, supinado. Já
Jason
me
said these
supinou,
guys
ele
need
já
to watch
me
J-Flow
supinou, já me
instructionals.
Tá
supinou.
pesando quanto, Vitor
The thing
Dória?
is, it takes a lifetime to become a J-Flow.
Botar a mãozinha no
I mean,
quadril
PJ
ali,
Bart can't do it. Kynan couldn't do it.
Com uma mão só, com a mão direita.
Joseph Chin can't do it.
Ele tá assim,
Keenan
tô
can't
tentando
do it.
retornar na boa.
Whoever's
Você não vai
over there
deixar,
can't-
não?
he
Então deixa eu
can't do
jogar
it.
aqui.
Honestly, doing
Ele tem
CLA
a
stand-up
força
low-key
de
helped my
footwork,
footwork for it.
fala, pelo amor de
I mean, just practicing the footwork. That's the thing is, if you don't practice the footwork, you're not going to get it.
É um menino que junta talento com dedicação, aí realmente fica imparável.
I can see why they gave it to Mika. He had a little bit more
Se eu falar que
attack.
Mika tá ganhando no detalhe,
But
tá
that
certo?
pass, I feel like that pass attempt,
Tá andando mais pra frente.
E o público não quer
that
nem
pass attempt was
saber de
that was a real
É.
threat. That would have been an advantage for real. That's the only move that was an advantage to me. So I think Elijah Dorsey might have had that match, man. That was kind of it.
Veio de uma movimentação do Mika.
Do
que ele
Mika.
The
sempre
gear guard.
fez.
Yo, that's
Verdade.
awesome, Jason. Great. That's a great name for that.
Tão claro dele.
E ele tá andando muito
I was like,
pra
any move where you're like, bro, I don't think I can do that.
faltando um pouco mais de 30 segundos.
Hey.
O Mika tentando
They're going out to the
os dois se
ring.
embolam, vão pro lado de fora.
So we
Do
talk
jeito
about
que o
athlete
povo
safety,
gosta.
but is it safe to have the athletes able to go out the ring and safe for the
Quer ver o
the you know the
bicho
viewers to
pegar,
get hit
nós
by the
também.
athletes? I don't think it's
Você
safe.
que tá em casa acompanhando pela Flow Grap, eu tenho certeza que também tá aí.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I think Elijah.
Da sua casa, enquanto isso,
I would have given that to Elijah.
Chama o Mika pra luta.
é isso, rapaziada, tá em peso apoiando o brasileiro.
Yeah, I would have given that to Elijah.
Querendo ou não, né? As 3 interrupções ali que o árbitro tem que fazer foram bons momentos do Mika, né? Indo pra fora ali. Não tem jeito. Mas essa luta aí já tá decidida.
Vale lembrar que aqui na Arena Mercado Livre, Mercado Pago Hall, não cabe mais ninguém. Sold out, todos os ingressos vendidos.
I would have given that to Elijah.
E aí, Vitor, quem levou essa luta?
That was a good match, though. Yeah, they need to hook up with J-Flow. He got a new video. I don't think we'll look at it. Maybe tomorrow we'll take a look at it. Okay, I'll save it in my BJJ reacts for you guys. I'm not sure if I'm going live tomorrow, guys. I got to weigh in for a tournament, so I'll let you guys know. But that was a good match. So yeah, I didn't forget we still got the J-Rod. We're gonna go through the story again. We got PGF. We talked a little bit about that, but now we're on Reddit about it. It says, will BMAC not be commentating at CJI 2? And he says, I believe I will, unless they fire me between now and then. That's cool that they let him do. He's got his own organization, and then he can do the CJI commentating. It says BMAC always got a spot. So that, I believe that is that's Craig Jones's account right there. How does Craig have so much time? He'd be on social media. He'd be responding to comments. He said, oh, thanks, Boo. I can't wait for this. Is it still the lightweights? Who are the bigger names invites? Yeah, 155-pound lightweights. We will drop the roster soon. Jeff, you need to try to get on that card, bro. I really love this change, and I think it will make for a better viewing experience. I also feel like the athletes themselves will be in better fighting form going into the finals since they won't have had days of competition straight leading up to it. I would bet the athletes would have a market for offering seminars to all of us hobbyists during the season too. Seems like it's good for everyone. Yeah, hopefully they get some good medical insurance for those guys. It says, how can I watch this and previous seasons? Regular seasons on YouTube of the past 2 seasons, and finals on UFC Fight Pass. Early seasons all on YouTube. Pumped for this. Yeah, we had one of my friends, Zach, was like really into it too. I think he said it starts on his birthday, the draft. I much prefer this format. I couldn't keep up with the daily videos and then felt like I was falling behind, which led me to not wanting to watch them at all. I think this new format is pretty brutal for the competitors. What was once a week-long trip to Vegas is now a 3-month stay, forcing guys to put the rest of their lives on hold. That's true. Is it worth it for you to go and do PGF? I mean, I think there's only one winner, right? Okay, so maybe if you got a good chance of winning. Okay, maybe you're Ryan Aiken. You got a great chance of winning. I mean, 3 months, most people can't take 3 months off of work or 3 months away from their gym, or, they might miss some other tournaments. So it's a big investment. So hopefully it pays off. I say if you're on that show, you better do everything in your power to grow your brand. Don't go out there and just mess around and fight hard. Go out there, grow your social media, show your personality. I'm not saying be crazy or anything, but just show who you are. If you're cool, if you're interesting, if you're introspective or you're motivational, show who you are and try to build that way. And don't rely on Brandon, don't rely on PGF to do that for you. You got to do that for yourself. Well, let's talk about it. This is Brandon. I appreciate the feedback. These guys are, for the most part, trying to become full-time competitors. If they come to Vegas for the season and get paid to compete every week, I feel like this is a step towards the goal, not a delay in reaching it. So I guess they're getting paid every week. The rest of their life likely look like getting ready to go compete and get paid. This would be that, but every week. Not to mention, this is way easier on an athlete's body than the whole season compressed into 1 week. I appreciate the feedback and definitely want to hear it. Happy to continue the conversation. So 3 months is long, Yeah, it's got to be worth it to you. If it's not worth it to you, be smart. Be like, hey man, I might have better opportunities not going out there, or hey, this is a great opportunity for me. Yeah, I don't know. You guys got to make that decision for yourself. totally agree. It's one thing if the season is 5 to 6 months long, but for most of these guys, 3 months means prioritizing PGF over 1 to 2 other matches. Yeah, but what are those 1 or 2 other matches are big matches that make their career? And, you know, they're going to be competing. Most of these guys aren't competing every week. So not only are they going to be stressing themselves out, they're going to be out of their element. They're potentially going to be filmed constantly. They're going to be put in these dramatized situations. It might be stressful. It might be so stressful. They're like, bro, this is terrible. So we don't know. Aside from that, the longer season is so much better from a fan and viewer engagement perspective. Glad he made the change, BMAC, and excited to see how it goes. Thanks, man. As this continues to grow, it will make more and more sense for the athletes to come over and do it. I'm doing my best to set this all up as a long-term sustainable thing and something that truly brings value to the athletes and the fans. And I think this is a big step forward in all of this, in those respects. Yeah, eventually you might have to relocate to Vegas, you know, like the MMA fighters, basically. Even that's probably generous, to be honest. Half the guys there would probably be prioritizing it over 1 or 2 events that they pay to do, like ADCC and IBJJF Opens, and maybe a super fight on a promotion that pays them like 5% of what they would make if they win PGF. So that big, you know, winning is a big what if, you know. I'm also thinking about their longevity. You know, you're competing, like, they're going to basically be compressing a year into 3 months, essentially. So, I mean, the first season was that, the last season was bad too. They were people getting their legs broken and arms broken, knees broken. So again, you got to weigh the cost, guys, if it's worth it to you. Hey, B-Mac, thanks for the reply. Love everything you're doing for the sport. You're the man. I'll admit my bias here, as I'm close with an alternate. I totally appreciate your perspective, and honestly, as a fan and viewer, this format is easier to follow, more digestible, and more closely mirrors a traditional sports season. I see benefits and drawbacks to both organizational schemes. As with everything else, there's a cost and benefit analysis that ultimately falls to each competitor, and the new format changes that calculus. I'm just a rando blue belt on Reddit, so what do I know? I appreciate you taking the time to listen and respond to these comments. May sound like a dumb question, BMAC, but younger American competitors are likely still on parents' health insurance. Little older guys likely have to pay on their own. I know some countries have government provided health care and some don't. But if someone gets hurt during the event, I'm assuming PGF doesn't cover cost of surgeries or anything like that. So in theory, couldn't their earnings be severely compromised if they got hurt and required surgery? No, that's great. That's a great and fair question, and definitely something I'm working to add for the athletes. It's not in place right now, though. It will probably be done before the season starts, but it's not done yet. So, says AGF offers insurance for competitors. It's under $70 a year. Covers sanctioned events like, well, that's not AGF. That's USA Grappling. So yeah, I need to get my USA Grappling finished. So that's good. Yeah, so, you know, I was pushing you guys to register for USA Grappling. I still need to do mine. Unfortunately, I got to do an international background check. So not only do I have to do a domestic background check, I have to do an international one because I lived overseas in the past 7 years. So that costs a little bit more money and time. So yeah, USA Grappling, we talked about that. They do offer some insurance for sanctioned events and non-sanctioned events, I believe. So yeah, looking out for that one. I don't know if I can react to that stuff because I ain't got the I don't know BMAC that well. So now we got Sanji versus Richie. We started watching this yesterday and then the stream got cut.
So yeah, he's either going to try to get a
I kind of like those shorter matches though.
That overhook.
And guys, I didn't forget about the J-Rod. We're going to get to J-Rod.
Sanji Ribeiro pulling guard.
Nice.
And Boogie sitting back.
So Boogie would sit back.
Right away, looking to submit.
This is about where we left off yesterday.
Yeah, Boogie's good at the heels. He's good at the legs. Shanji's out. But he'll use that again
Nice.
to get on top, and then he tries to fall there.
And I think last time I was thinking that, you know, Sanji's such a good positional fighter. It's going to be hard to beat him.
Sanji gave Boogie a little look. He's like, okay. I saw. Okay, you're going to try to heel hook me. I get it.
Yep.
I think Boogie needs to stand
See you
up.
guys.
I think his best
See that
shot
money?
is getting
Bye-bye,
him with
bunny.
the legs.
It's worth it, though, you know, if you have that insurance.
But
So Richie's playing this kind of quarter guard, knee shield, butterfly, knee shield half guard.
Multiple time.
He might be looking for a false sweep or something. You know, Sanji's good, bro.
ADCC world champion, Nogi world champion.
It looks like he's actually been training. He looks slim.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize Richie was so big. Like tall. Looking good, looking good, Richie.
Watch the omoplatas as well.
Bruce Leroy. Is that Eddie Bravo?
Richie will throw those things if your arm gets around the hip. Right now, Shanji's in a leg weave position, so he's got the legs weaved. So very good.
Yeah, that's terrible. You know, guys are getting their legs broken. I don't think.
Boogeyman, so
you know,
it'll let him run around.
You can't do combat sports like that. You know, the Ultimate Fighter tried that. I think you burn the competitors out
over the head and just simply run.
So you might win. Say you win PGF, but then like your body's destroyed, you're burned out. You don't want to do this anymore.
Attempt at a Kimura from Boogie on the bottom there.
Burnout. We didn't even talk about burnout, guys. You're there 3 months. You might like Vegas for a week. Okay, you don't like Vegas for 3 months? Let's see.
Try to omoplata here.
Shout out to Rich Homie Quan. He in Vegas.
Boogie's
looking for had a lockdown for a second.
Honored to have this match here.
Yeah, burnout. You get homesick.
Just telling me yesterday.
3 months, bro. I'd be ready to leave after 3 months.
Announced. It went wild on the Flow Grappling social media channels.
So you know, Sanji, you know, he's the coach of Victor Hugo and some other guys. So he's been staying up to date. He's been competing a little bit here and there.
Sanji's elected to stand above Boogie. He's got to watch his legs.
Yeah, he can circle around or step into the middle and then come back down.
Okay, looking for outside pass. You know, older guys, bro. We got to put pressure down.
Can't leave that left leg behind, though, if you're Shanji.
Maybe trying to cut to the other side.
He gets to the hip. That's where leg injuries can happen.
I don't feel like Tim Planet guys. Don't come at me, guys. I got to fight some Tim Planet guys tomorrow on Saturday. But I don't feel like.
It's got to either put a hook in or in this. Like
I don't feel like their guard retention's the best. Is that me?
Or there's some weight in it.
I think it's interesting. Do you notice that overhook that Boogie is using with his left hand? He goes all the way around.
Yeah, watch out for the raw drag.
Why do you think he's using that specific grip there, Sean?
If Shanji hugs his hip,
he does have a butterfly hook in, so that means he can probably kick under to elevate.
He's going to come. He's very flexible.
He can do whatever Tim Planet stuff he wants to work on.
He could still get the leg over the face, even if he gets flattened.
We're still up, guys? I know people get bored. Some people get bored of this stuff, but this is like why I started this channel. It was like to watch these matches, to break them down, some outside passing, trying to break the grips.
This is the first time Shanji's competed Nogi.
Richie looks like he's, I won't say he's gassing, but it looks like he's, you know.
2017.
There's that left leg.
Okay.
So he can't really leave that leg.
I'm not sure what he's looking for here on bottom.
Got his head down.
Sanji's going to pressure in, and you know when he sees an opportunity,
Shanji could hook
he'll go chest to chest, force the half guard possibly.
Just keep weight in it and keep Boogie.
So remember, Sanji's fighting Victor Hugo every day, guys.
Right arm can't get elbow deep underneath the leg.
And you see, Richie looks a little bit more tired. He's breathing a little bit harder. I wish I could. I don't have anybody to do it for me. Everybody's competing. They will be on Flow Grappling though. I don't think I'll live stream. I might live stream the weigh-ins, but I'm going to be too busy on Saturday.
With his left arm.
Yeah, that's the
okay.
Yeah, that's a leg weave, and yep, to try to prevent the crossface.
So he's really working that knee shield, and that works really well if you're tall. Like tall guys can kind of keep you away with that knee shield like that. Let's see how Sanji gets over it. I do believe he starts passing to the left side.
Trying to get above.
ADCC Atlanta. So right now they're favoring.
And Richie
All right,
Martinez
they shouldn't have said that.
gets
They
the
shouldn't have
first
said that.
judge's favor here.
They shouldn't have said
Shanji
that.
looking
Oh
fired up from here in
no.
that judge's favor.
They shouldn't have
Trying
said
to get
that.
the double under stack pass. And now smashing
Judge's
the
favor
guard
blue.
Of Boogie Martinez.
Yo, look at Eddie Bravo,
Eddie
guys. What
Bravo
happened to
looks
that
on
hair,
in the
man?
corner. Shanji
What happened to
changing
that
the
hair,
direction.
Eddie?
That got him
God,
fired
dog.
up, Sean
Let me
Williams.
rewind now. I was talking.
Fired up.
So as soon as they said judge's favor red, that was it. That was it. So he gets.
Richie Martinez.
He's able to get under, double under here, stack,
Shanji
pass,
fired up from here in that judge's favor. Trying
smash
to get
pass
the double
here,
under stack pass.
back step,
And now
or he goes right into mount
smashing the
actually.
guard Of Boogie Martinez
He cuts
as
to
Eddie
the
Bravo
left,
looks on in the corner.
and then head and arm, pries his leg out. Dang.
Sean Williams.
Yeah,
He's looking for that pass now.
Dang, they should never have said that, bro. That judge's favor got hit. Oh,
His leg will creep out.
all right, you know, belly.
As well, if he wants.
Judge's favor
Looks like
blue.
he's going to go after a Kimura on that far arm.
Oh yeah, you been working Kimura. I like seeing old dudes, guys. I mean, Sanji, I think he's in his 40s.
Yeah, he's going after Kimura. There it is. It's a switch.
Oh no. Tim Planet, no, Eddie, no, help me, Eddie, help me.
In prime position
Help me, Eddie, help
to
me.
finish, trying to break the grip of Boogie Martinez. He's looking to get a submission here.
What?
And
That
who's
ain't the
number one?
defense, bro.
So Boogie needs to bring the legs underneath the knee. There
That's
you
it.
got
All right, tap that.
And Shanji Ribeiro
Hey.
gets the submission.
Shout out to Sanji, bro.
A debut.
How old is Sanji, guys? He up there. So, you know, we had Fabricio Andre talking about, you know, people being on performance enhancers. And now we got Guy Mendez. We're not talking about performance enhancers, but we're going to talk about something similar. Guy Mendez on overtraining. Perhaps not surprising given AOJ's packed training schedule, but very different from what we hear from a lot of top athletes and coaches nowadays. So someone asked him a question. They said, do you ever have to keep your athletes from overtraining? And he says, no, overtraining is the goal. So this kind of makes me question Guy Mendez's coaching. I'm kind of questioning his coaching because you guys, if you're older, you got to realize that resting and not overtraining is important. In fact, I remember, I think one Worlds, maybe 2011. I went to one World Championship. I was a brown belt at the time, but man, I was so overtrained. I was at the venue like the day before, just trying to sleep as much as I could to like recover. But some of the takes he's had, I don't know how good of a coach he is, to be honest. He might be a good coach, but just, you know, how healthy of a coach he is. Because if he's got all his athletes overtraining, I mean, that to me doesn't sound right. You know, that doesn't sound like the best coaching method. You know, this might have been okay in the 1970s, but it's 2025. He follows up. Let's see if you guys can read it. Can I click on it? Can you please explain the overtraining is a goal thing? It's a joke. We just train as much as needed to get good and win. If not winning, better to train more. Why was he joking? Nah, it wasn't a joke. Nah, he wasn't joking, bro. Whenever they say that, that's like they're backpedaling. OP ran straight to Reddit. Yep, got him. I don't think he's joking. I think he pushes them to overtrain, train as much as they can. And this is kind of the old school model. We used to just train twice a day, 3 times a day. And, you know, your body... Yeah, that definitely sounds like you were overtraining. So, you know, your body can't recover. Your sleep is affected. You get sick. I had one friend. I had one friend. He had rhabdo, which is where the muscle breaks down and, you know, becomes poison in your body and poisons your kidneys. I believe Big Dan also had rhabdo. You see that in like CrossFit people. I mean, think about CrossFit. You think CrossFit's healthy? CrossFit the least healthiest. CrossFit's the worst fitness you can do to your body. It is. Just watch the CrossFit Games. I mean, in fact, a dude died at the last CrossFit Games. That's how bad it was. I'm not sure if he overtrained. He actually drowned during an event. So RIP to that guy. But I mean, CrossFit is built on overtraining and, you know, injuring yourself, doing too many lifts and crazy moves, and swimming when you don't know how to swim, or you're injured and you're trying to swim, and, you know. I don't think Guy Menez wasn't joking. Someone says it's easier to train when you're on the bomba. And that might be the case. You know, if you're teaching athletes, if you got all your athletes on bomba, they good. They're going to recover. But if they're not on bomba, you know, they got to take a day or two off a week. They can't push. You know, if you're training hard Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they tired. They tired by Wednesday. The other dudes, they keep going till Saturday. They go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They good. The regular dude, they done by Wednesday. All right, Wednesday. All right, that's it. I've got nothing else left. It's under bombed, not overtrained. Yeah. And you know, maybe in the future I might be doing a story on AOJ. We never know. I'll knock on some wood. Hopefully I'm still around. Hopefully YouTube ain't kicked me off by then. Honestly, the vast majority of people never need to worry about overtraining. Your injuries, your little injuries, aren't because you're getting old or overtraining. They're because you're out of shape in general and keep trying to waltz into a combat sport a few times a week. I don't know if I agree with that take. Someone says, I feel attacked. I think most people could spin off their diet too. Not eating enough protein or just eating poorly. Sleep too. Sleep is a big one. Honestly, one of the biggest changes I've noticed, my diet used to be bad. Then I had a bad run in competition, changed it, and in like a month felt stronger, less sore, and like my cardio had doubled. Someone asked what dietary change he did. He says exactly. Lack of recovery and being in poor shape is usually the issue rather than overtraining. But again, I think I talked about it. People look for the easy ways out instead of, you know, changing your diet, sleeping better, you know, taking more time off. They're gonna look for the shortcuts that will bypass all of that. Depends on a lot of factors, including how well they manage their own resistance training, which can be detrimental by itself for the inexperienced. Between strength and endurance training, those alone add up to 8+ hours per week to achieve my goals, and adding BJJ 3 to 4 times per week on top of that is undeniably a delicate balance. But yeah, most people aren't near their maximum training volume and would benefit from additional strength training. I believe if you're training, it depends on your conditioning, but if you're training twice a day, or if you're training more than 3 to 4 times a week, I think that's when you can start to feel overtrained. And everybody's different, you know. I believe in like MMA, they measure your heart rate. So when they see like you have elevated heart rate, like resting heart rate or anything like that, any changes in your heart rate, that's when they'll deload your training. They'll kind of make it easier. It says also more consistency will result in better, more controlled adaptations to BJJ stressors. BJJ can be really hard, especially at lower levels, and that mechanical work on the mats doesn't come from nowhere. If someone is too inconsistent with their training frequencies, then they're going to adapt slower, just like any other training program. Overtraining is real, and it's a nervous system injury. If you're on the bomba, sure, maybe it's harder to get to that point, but it can still happen. You will know when it crosses that threshold, but before that, it will sneak up on you like a physical injury. To be honest, overtraining is real, but it's not a nervous system injury. But wait a second, overtraining is real, but it's a nervous system injury, or that your CNS is fried is straight BS. Not an injury, sure, but CNS fatigue is absolutely a thing. So central nervous system. He says, joke, I know, but he and Hoffa are probably top 3 of all time for most ruthless self-disciplined BJJ competitors. The other being Cobrinha. That's one of my old coaches, guys. So I know a thing about overtraining, guys. I've seen it firsthand. I've experienced it, and it's counterproductive. I'd hate to think what he counted as overtraining. Well, I mean, nothing was good enough for Cobrinha, to be honest. It didn't matter how much you trained. You weren't training enough. You weren't training hard enough. So there was always someone training harder than you. So I think we tried to keep up with Cobrinha as much as we could, and then eventually we were just like, I got to do my own thing. Because I had friends, that would lift with Cobrinha and drill with Cobrinha, take private lessons with Cobrinha, and bro, all of those guys, destroyed their bodies. I think I rolled with Cobrinha. That's mostly what I would do. I was smaller back in those days. To be honest, what we think is overtraining is what they think is probably very different. Also, AOJ guys spend money on keeping their bodies healthy. Like I see Tynan using some futuristic stuff for recovery on his Insta all the time. Well, he's got money. He got a lot. Tynan's got a lot more money than me, guys. We got to change that. We got to change that through social media somehow. Oh, can you guys hear that when it speaks? Can you guys hear that, or just me? It says good to hear that. I gotta find the balance myself, I suppose. I'm pretty sure I overtrained a lot at one of the first gyms I went to. It was pretty much an overtraining class. Yeah, it's old school mentality of more training is better. But what's that? The law of diminishing returns. For my people that took economics, eventually it's not gonna help you. Eventually, training 8 times a week. 10 times a week, 20 times a week ain't going to help you. 20 times a week of jiu-jitsu ain't going to help nobody. Same thing with lifting weights. If you're, at a certain point you're deadlifting, okay, your deadlift goes up, you're deadlifting, that helps you. But at a certain point, deadlifting 800 pounds, not going to help you. Deadlifting 800 pounds going to destroy your back. Think of Ronnie Coleman. That is the poster child of overtraining. Ronnie Coleman, guys. And while he reached inhuman levels, what was the price he had to pay? He destroyed his body. So again, guys, I said I got into this to be healthy. I'm not in here to destroy myself. I'm still doing good. I'm Masters 236. I feel good, knock on wood. I got to get through ADCC, but I feel good. Body's working. Everything's still attached, and I want to keep it that way. But these guys got a lot of money, so they can do more than a lot of us. For sure, I trained with Cobrinha for several years during his prime. I might know that guy. You couldn't pay me to push as hard as he did on a routine basis. His version of overtraining was I'm in the hospital involuntarily. Yep, I might know that guy. My destroyed shoulder and hips vehemently disagree. Overtraining hurts and makes me drink. He misspelled overbombed. I make that mistake all the time. I bet Jay Flo would tell you guys the same thing. We got Joseph Chin. He's gonna show us some passing, but let's get into that the J-Rod story. That's what you guys came on here for. That's why you guys clicked on this thumbnail, clicked on this video. Says, I had to speak up. A B-team female member opens up about J-Rod's expulsion for misconduct. So this is the main event. This is what you guys came in here for. We got some other, we'll got some other stuff at the end, but I want to hit this, let you guys, before your lunch break or whatever you got to do. In the aftermath of J-Rod's removal from B-team, which was a day or two ago, team member Ali Walski, okay, she put her name out there. I'm not trying to shame her or victim shame or blame or anything. Her name's in the article, guys. So yeah, don't do anything to her. She's just, stepping forward. She has stepped forward as a powerful voice for women affected and for the future of female athletes in the sport. Yeah, so how B-Team handles this is a blueprint for other gyms on how to handle similar situations. And you guys want to handle these situations and don't let them get out of control, okay? Rodriguez, J-Rod, a silver medalist ADCC silver medalist and one of B Team's most high-profile athletes, was dismissed following allegations of inappropriate behavior towards women at the gym. In his public apology, he took full accountability for his past actions and asked that the privacy of those impacted be respected. I'm truly sorry. I ask that the public show them the respect and consideration they deserve by refraining from contacting or attempting to identify them. But the story doesn't end with an apology. So you got some of the girls there. Yeah, we don't know how many girls were impacted. So, yeah. But the story doesn't end with an apology for Allie and other women at B Team. The emotional and professional fallout is very real. I will not allow this to affect my or my female teammates' future opportunities in jiu-jitsu. Allie wrote in a powerful Instagram story, "We've done nothing wrong." Her post addresses the wave of online harassment she and others have faced, calling out individuals hiding behind burner accounts to leave unhelpful stuff on her post and the team's YouTube channel. She made it clear that such toxicity won't deter her or other women from progressing in the sport they love. Allie, I'm using her first name, it's easier for me to say. Allie also announced plans to share her personal experience in a forthcoming video, so I might have to react to that, guys. I'll make a video later explaining from my perspective as a woman at B Team who this has affected. I will only share what is mine. I'm not going to share the stories of other women who were affected by this behavior. So it sounds like B Team's got a really big problem, and I'm hoping it doesn't blow over even worse than what's going on. But I mean, this stuff, it kind of festers. So she's going to make a video about this later on. The statement makes it clear. Allie is not seeking drama. She's demanding respect and space for women in jiu-jitsu to thrive without fear, shame, or blame. She ended her message with gratitude to B Team leaders Craig Jones and Seth, crediting them for prioritizing the team's well-being. Thank you to B Team, at B Team Craig and Seth, for putting our safety and comfort first. The scandal has sparked wider conversations about boundaries, responsibility, and the treatment of women in martial arts. Allie's courage in speaking up, not as a victim but as a leader, signals a shift in how these matters are being handled, both publicly and within the sport's most elite teams. This is more than a team controversy. It's a wake-up call for the entire jiu-jitsu community. So, as jiu-jitsu becomes more popular, you're going to get more ladies, more kids, more masters people, more seniors. So, you can't have this misconduct in your schools. It's terrible for business. And not only is it terrible for business, but it's not a culture you want to have, guys. You don't want a culture where people feel alienated. The girls feel alienated from the guys. And then, that affects the vibe. That's what you guys say nowadays. The Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they say the vibe is off. So you want your schools to be, a welcoming environment for everyone. You want to limit the drama. You want to limit the misconduct. You don't want any of this stuff at your school. And if you see it starting to happen, you need to address it early on. So again, I'm pushing everybody to do their safe sport training. I've taken something like a safe sport training before, but I got to update my training too. So I believe in the course they cover a lot of like how to identify abuse and misconduct, and steps moving forward. So if you're watching this video, please check out Safe Sport. And if you do jiu-jitsu, it's also for the black belts. It's one of the requirements for like certification under IBJJF. And also for USA Grappling, it's also one of the required courses to sign up. So, so we'll try to react to her video. I think it's a bad situation, but I had a couple friends that were like, this is going to blow over. People will forget about it. So I guess we'll see. But you guys got to remember, jiu-jitsu is a growing sport. Even on Reddit. Can we go to Reddit? RBJJ, let's see. you know, Reddit has almost 900,000 people following that. And there's been estimates that there's, you know, up towards a million, couple million people doing jiu-jitsu. So the sport is only growing. So, you know, you can't have this kind of stuff going on. So hopefully, you know, we'll keep an eye on this. And I just want you guys to educate yourselves, educate the students around you, educate your colleagues, your fellow students, educate your coaches. You know, if you see anything inappropriate, you know, back in the day we would just, I guess I can't say anything. I better just shut up about it. But, you know, people are more vocal now than they were in years past. And you can't hide things. You can try to hide things, but then if it blows up or catches you off guard, you know, you can end up in a bad situation. So that's kind of what B Team did. They, instead of getting caught off guard by allegations and stuff, they made swift action. So now we got Joseph Chin. He's going to show us how to pass the guard.
Strip and pin it to your chest. And I like using this grip in conjunction with a tricep grip on the top side.
Yeah.
But now because I can maybe pin this to your body,
this is nice.
Pin this to the mat,
God, yeah.
and so on, I feel like it gives me a lot of an advantage.
Yeah, I almost tapped just from that, man.
Oh, his shoulder's bad. He overtrained that shoulder.
I'm here with Joseph Chen, the champ, and we're gonna learn some jiu-jitsu today, some things that you're working on from top, because you're really good at
Let me skip the music, guys, because I am not having good luck with music lately.
Passing is going to be your upper body, so your hands, your ability to frame, your ability to grip, right? So if I'm here, you're going to try to frame on me, and so on. So something that I try to do a fair bit is actually, instead of focusing just on, okay, how can I drive through and get close to your upper body, but I try to think about how can I take your frames away. So when we're in situations like these, I don't want to just grip your wrists from open. I want to put your wrist in a position where I can actually get it consistently. So I'm going to drive weight in. I want to force you to frame. And so now if you were to relinquish the frame, you do incur a fair bit of risk. So by doing that, it makes it very predictable where your wrist's going to be. And so I'm able to then strip and pin it to your chest. And I like using this grip in conjunction with a tricep grip on the top side. So now we kind of have this push-pull dynamic here where now when you try to frame with your top hand, it's difficult. When you try to extend yourself away and so on, it can be quite tough, right? And so now I've taken away a frame, but now I also can exert some degree of control over you. So if you want to try to put your back flat to try to create space, it's difficult. And by placing my shoulder in front of your elbow, when you try to turn flat, it actually can be quite, turn into me actually, sorry. It can be quite tough. And then from here, it's just a matter of like working past this frame and then also beating your knee shield. And the knee shield from here, especially once we get a strong connection to the upper body, we can start turning their hips flat and we'll be able to break through. Obviously, I'm not just trying to work with a single grip, right? It is a bit of a grip fight, so as they try to break this, right, I can play with controlling the bottom arm and so on and so on. But more of this, like, that's more of an illustration of this idea of hand fighting from top.
Nice. What about hand fighting from bottom if I'm doing this to you?
From here, it's basically who can get dominant grips. I do think I have an inherent advantage because one, I can put weight through my grips, right? Because I can like punch this into your chest. Yeah. So you try to strip. It's actually a lot harder than if we were standing, it's more neutral because I can't necessarily put as much weight through.
Yes, true.
If we're just here, you can grip, right?
Yeah, easily, yeah.
But now because I can maybe pin this to your body,
this is nice.
Pin this to the mat, and so on. I feel like it gives me a lot of an advantage.
Yeah, I almost tapped just from that, man. Holy moly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's really
I would tap if you did it to me.
Wow, that's impressive, man. So I like this grip a lot when you grab that wrist. So when the frames come in first, right? Let's just say before this happens, I'm in this position, and then you fish for that grip from here.
So often I'll actually drive in with one shoulder as I relieve weight with one to expose the wrist. Because if I'm here, I can't really move myself to this position. So I'll expose the wrist here. And then from here, I'm able to get here, fight for this grip.
This is really tight, man. Holy moly.
Yeah, and even like, let's say you fight and try to pull away, like you might give me better positioning. I might be able to progress here and so on.
Yeah, usually from there, though, I would try to peel this hand off, correct? Would this be the right?
I don't know if it's the right thing to do, but it's something that will often happen. Yeah. And when that happens, then I can circle, try to get control of the wrist. Yeah. I'm going to try to pin it to your chest. You try fighting that, right? I might pin it to the floor then. And it's basically just not relying so much on the actual strength of my grip, but reinforcing it with either your body, the floor. Yeah. I can like it could be valid to even like think about it like pulling it into my body.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, well, I do this more from guard actually, but.
Really? What's the hand across the hip?
Yeah, because like let's say if we were playing some form of like 2-on-1, I really like bringing this hand in my pocket because once again, it's not just relying on my grip strength to hold it in place. Yeah. I'm actually reinforcing the grip or the weakness of my grip with my own body.
That's really annoying because it's stuck here, and then there's a push-pull that's turning my shoulders.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really like that.
So, I mean,
my lat's gonna tear.
Higashi's beat up.
That's awesome, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no sure.
Higashi's beat up. So yeah, Danny Chapa says it was hard to be outspoken, especially if the head coach has the ego. Well, that's a lot of coaches, especially the old school Brazilian coaches, especially when you're younger. You know, if you're around like high level people, they're older, more experienced. It's hard to like say anything, and this is a long time ago, so like there was no social media, there's no real outlets to like outside, there was really no outlet to like expose these people or to call these people out. So you basically were like, I could say something, but they might sweep it under the rug, or people just ignore it. So now with social media, things can change. Jason said, I've seen a few that don't even allow women in the doors for reasons like this. Yeah, I mean, you want your academy to be open to everybody. Yeah, if you're trying to keep certain people out of your gym, I mean, you shouldn't have a gym. So again, think about who martial arts was created for. It was created for smaller, weaker people to protect themselves, and a lot of time that is women, that is kids. So that's the reason behind martial arts. Jiu-jitsu wasn't made for people on bomba. Wasn't made for people on bomba to. Jiu-jitsu wasn't made for people on bomba to just beat other people on bomba. It's made for people to defend themselves. Using technique to learn how to use leverage to defend yourself. So, I think somewhere along the road we messed that up. And I think we should never forget where martial arts, the roots of martial arts, and the purpose behind martial arts. So you need to have the ladies there. You need to have the kids there. You need to have the old people there. You need to your school should be open to everybody. Even from a business perspective, you want your doors open for everybody, and you want everybody to feel comfortable at your gym. You don't want them to feel alienated or weirded out or creeped out. Yeah, that's bad, bro. Danny says, I love that type of grip from the full guard. Really puts the person on top in predicament. Yeah. I got to experiment what he's doing because, Joseph does some different stuff, bro. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Yeah, but is that a good gym? And usually those schools are small, right? I know a few gyms like that. Them schools be small. They haven't grown. They got the same members from like 5 years ago. Yeah, it's just not viable. It's not a good business model. They got to learn to control themselves. You all right, guys. Not to be misogynist or anything, but you got to make the environment more inviting. I assure you, those places usually really small. They ain't got no members. They got about 50 members, bro. This screaming at him between questions is stupid. Oh, you guys can hear it? I don't really understand. I don't know what you're saying. But anyway, yeah. What were we talking about? Yeah, I don't really understand that. Maybe my brain's not working. So let's move on. But yeah, I was saying Joseph Chin, I don't really understand how he's gripping the wrist so long, but maybe he's got a different style of jiu-jitsu than us. And guys, realize you can't copy everybody. That's something you got to realize. I feel like Joseph Chin has a hard game to copy. I know you guys be out there trying to do the tripod pass, but there's some intangible stuff you guys can't see. So I have a friend that's built like Joseph, and like his physical frame, his body his skeletal frame is super flexible, and like certain things they can do, I'm like, bro, I'll never be able to do. Not to say you can't learn from Joseph. I just want you guys to realize that there's some intangible stuff, some stuff you can't really see in the videos that he has. You know, he's got like size. He's bigger than you think. Yeah, you guys got too much testosterone. Well, that means the environment is probably not the best yet. You know, when you're used to having girls around, you're used to having girls watching the class. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, I mean, it happens, you know, just don't be a creep about it. You know, accidents happen, you know, don't pull a J-Rod and, you know, do anything inappropriate. And sometimes the girls are good roles. You guys are like, oh, the girls, we don't want the girls at the gym. But man, sometimes the girls are great roles. I love rolling with the ladies because they give me a different look. You know, sometimes they're more flexible. They can get in different situations that I'm like, oh, how do I address this? Or, you know, it's just different. It's just different. You should be rolling with everybody, you know. Yeah, that's inspired by Bruce Lee right there. Yeah, Bruce Lee was the first ecological. And he stole Bruce Lee's system. But yeah, I like rolling with the ladies. I like rolling with the kids. I like rolling with the big people, the older guys. You know, you should be rolling with everybody. You know, you're trying to adjust your jiu-jitsu. Your jiu-jitsu should be able to adapt to every body style, every body type. You know, even the guys on the bomba, it's good to feel, oh man, they're really strong. You know, their CNS is firing really quick. Okay, how can I make that adjustment? And that's how you keep it interesting, you know. So by rolling with different body types, you get different looks. You can work different techniques. There's going to be different strategies, different approaches. So if you want to get good at jiu-jitsu, roll with different people, guys. Don't keep rolling with these meatheads. And yeah, Danny Chapa, yeah, exactly. Use what works for you. And I mean, and then toss it, you know? And sometimes you toss something, oh, I'm not going to use that. You toss it away. And then a couple years later, you're like, dang, I should have kept that. I should have kept working that one move. That was good. Let's move on. We got a couple more stories. I think last story on Reddit. So it says decline in memberships. Got a frog in my voice, guys. Get some water. It says, I know with the economy being bad, there's obviously a lot of people who aren't fortunate enough to pay fees to train. I definitely noticed a large decline in people training at my gym compared to last year. That's including fully new signups and long-time members. I live in LA. Well, a lot of those people moved, and our monthly dues are about $220 a month. So that's more than most of you guys are paying. That's more than what most people are paying in jiu-jitsu. But if you live in LA, that's kind of normalized, you know, $220, $250, $300. So he's asking, how is it at your current gym? One person says $220 is a lot for most areas. Outside the big city, it's like $130 to $140 range, and in the big city, $150 to $175. I don't see the books. Well, he's got some religious or other personal reasons for that, and you know, I respect. I mean, I've had students that couldn't roll with women, and sometimes women would take offense to that. It's hard being the coach because you know what, he doesn't want to roll. Hopefully, you know, you can explain that. Okay, or you know, grab a different partner. Explain the reasoning, or just say, hey man, he doesn't want to roll. It's okay to turn out rolls, guys. You know, sometimes you got a crazy dude that likes to do the Kane Basami. You know, man, I don't want to roll, man. I do that more now than I used to. When I was coming up, I couldn't say no to rolls. I had to roll with 280-pound dudes, you know, getting crushed to death. But now I'm like, you know, if I'm feeling kind of sore, my neck's a little jacked up, you know, man, I'm gonna roll someone lighter. It can happen. I try to respect everybody's reasoning. You know, some people have religious reasons. Some people, you know, maybe their wife gets jealous, or, you know, maybe their boyfriend gets jealous. I understand. I try to be reasonable. But that's not always the case. That's a rare case in that instance. You know, where someone can't roll with women, or they can't roll with men. And I just respect their viewpoint, you know. And I'm not going to force, you know, I'll never force anybody to roll with someone they don't feel comfortable with. It could be another dude, another girl, you know. If you don't feel comfortable rolling, it's okay to be like, hey, I'm going to pick a different partner, or I'll sit out. And, you know, that's him. That's it. That's his thing. He doesn't want to roll with women. That's his thing. I roll with everybody, guys, unless I'm injured, and then I ain't roll with everybody. So yeah, NYC has ballooned to 275 to 315, at least in Manhattan. So that's your Marcelo Garcia. That's your Unity. That's your Renzo Gracie. Someone says we just shut down actually because of this, but our price was only $65. Dang. How often did you guys advertise? $65 sounds like an incredible deal for BJJ membership. It's not enough to advertise. Is your BJJ gym? If your BJJ gym doesn't have social media or a strong advertising campaign, you are sinking ship. It's not 2005 anymore. Mine does neither, but we also have MMA fighters, even though the gym caters to BJJ. A local promoter puts on 2 fights a year in town, and membership takes off after we fight every single time. It's the best advertising. Yeah, some places are expensive. Yeah, that's crazy. You could go to, is he at TriStar? Yeah, he's at TriStar or somewhere. Imagine you pay all that money to go to TriStar, and he's like, I can't roll for you. Isn't that bad? That was good. I mean, you ain't getting $70 no more. Not in America. Maybe in Iowa, but in Europe you can get that. Europe you definitely get a lot for $70. You get a lot for $50. Someone said, I've seen the same. If I were to guess, my club is down 15 to 20% in memberships compared to 2 years ago. So yeah, look, you got people can't afford jiu-jitsu. And then you say you got a homeboy over here creeping out all the girls. That ain't good for business. We don't know the B team. We don't know how B team is doing. We see the social media. We see Craig Jones flying all over the place. We see the guys winning tournaments, but we don't know the business. You know, they might just get a lot of drop-ins. They might have more drop-ins than people that, you know, that train there consistently. So we don't know their finances. We don't know their situation. We don't know how much they got to pay all the guys. They got a lot of people on the roster. You got Nicky Ryan. You got Nicky Rod. You had J Rod. You got all these other dudes I don't even know. You got Ethan. You got Damien. You got all these guys. They got to make money. They're getting paid, right? And you know, say 20% of people stop coming in. Man, that's somebody gonna take a hit. Craig Jones he's gonna have to work double time to make that money for all those guys. So yeah, we don't even know the business side over at B Team. And I've actually been to B Team. You guys been to B Team before? It's in this little old mall. It's probably the only business in that mall. And shout out to the arcade across the street. That arcade is fun. I will go to that arcade a couple times. I hope it's still open. Shout out to that arcade across the street from B Team. You know, B Team is in this mall, and you know, I don't know what the overhead is. They might have to pay $20,000 a month in rent or something. You know, $10,000 to $20,000 a month in rent. That's a lot of money. I don't know exactly. I'm guessing. It's a big space, right? You know, it got to be at least $10,000 a month, guys. And you know, you lose students, bro. You know, 20%. There goes the $10,000. There goes the month. There goes the rent that month. You know, from one dude messing up. So yeah, you got these schools are businesses too, guys. You know, that B Team YouTube channel can't be paying for everything. And they just started another YouTube channel, so we'll see how that goes. Craig is having to pimp himself out, guys. Yeah, we don't know. So we can't. You guys think, oh man, everything's perfect and great, but there's always something going on, and they got a lot of people on payroll. How much you think they're paying their payroll, the instructors, every month? You know, those guys need money to survive. You know, they need money for their place, they need money for their car and food, insurance. How much? I mean, some of the guys Canadian, Ethan's Canadian, but he still need money. Man, that's a lot of money. So rent, overhead, rent. I'm saying separate. You got rent. You got to pay for the instructors. You know, and everything else, insurance. Man, that stuff adds up, bro. You know, when I was up there, they're like, make sure you pay that mat fee, guys. I forget how much the mat fee was. They're like, for visitors, make sure you pay that mat fee. That's how they make a lot of money. But say the thing with J-Rod blows up, and then people stop coming to visit B Team as much. That's a revenue source that went down immediately. Overnight, that could affect your revenue right there. Yeah, but you can only cook the books so long. You cook the books too long, you know, then the government's looking at you. Because, you know, I assure you the government looking at Craig Jones. You got this Australian dude making a lot of money in America? Remember, Craig, he got a visa. I don't know if he's got a green card or what. I don't know what kind of visa Craig on, but they definitely, you know, they be looking at immigrants, bro. Mr. Craig Jones, you made $2 million last year. How did you do this? Craig for sure he for sure got to pay his rent. Not his rent, his taxes. Mr. Craig, you made $3 million this year. Can you explain that? He wasn't making millions of dollars when he first moved to America. I assure you, they looking at him. IRS looking at him. I know they took a budget cut too. Everybody getting cut. Yeah, we don't know the finances, guys. This guy says, my gym is packed on a regular night, uncomfortably so. I think I got kicked or ran into 5 times in 1 hour last night. Gym owner just bought a new space that is 3 times larger because we have outgrown our gym, so we'll be moving in 1 to 3 months. He probably should have stayed. I would have waited until the economy got better. I would have stayed in that little small school, bro. Yeah, a lot of people try to get into a bigger space really fast, bro. I keep you guys in there. You know, you can always split the class up. You can make more classes. You know, I would just be careful now, especially the way the economy is. I wouldn't be expanding unless you need to. They say Baltimore. In my experience, little growth. I started around 2 years ago and have been waiting on my new folks to practice offense. Still getting whooped by the same people over and over. $160 a month. So that's the kind of school. This is the kind of school that don't have girls. You know, they got the same people for 2 years. Ain't no new person walked in that school in 2 years. And you guys kicking out the girls. What? Make that make sense. Yeah, I feel that. That's why I love the fundamentals class. You trying to beat up new people. $220 a month. We charge $100. No contracts or termination fees unless you're a police officer, sheriff, deputy, firefighter, EMS, or military. Then you don't pay anything. What kind of gym is this? That fee allows you to train BJJ, Muay Thai, and gives access to weights in our shoot house. To answer your question, our membership has stayed pretty consistent over the past couple years. Man, I'll be honest, bro. Most of those people, most of the firefighters, at least in Atlanta, bro, they don't train military. I feel like more military people train than the officers, police officers, firefighters, EMS. They don't really be training like that. So yeah, you know, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on this. You know, either, you know, actually, you know, I think the few recessions I've been in, I've seen, you know, most people kept training jiu-jitsu. It was like a non-negotiable, but we'll see. We'll see if this next generation will keep training, even though, you know, they have less money, discretionary money. Oh, we had some videos from, I've been skipping a couple videos. What is that? I'm going to say this one for next time. Should we look at this? I kind of don't want to look at this. Yeah, I really want to look at that. I don't look at that either. So yeah, we covered a lot with J-Rod, guys. I think this lady she's gonna make a video eventually. Can we find her social media? Again, guys, don't go attacking this girl. Let me kind of change this. What is that girl's name? Is that her? Oh, that's not her. That's a different girl. Yeah, don't go attacking her. I mean, J-Rod admitted to everything, right? Is his Instagram still up, guys? What's J-Rod's Instagram, guys? Does anybody know J-Rod's Instagram? Is it still up? I don't think it's up. I'm looking for it. Let me look up B Team. Are they still following him? So that was the post we read. No comments, obviously. You guys all know J-Rod's no longer a part of B Team. But is he still on Instagram? Nicky Rod's still on Instagram. Oh man, big bro. Okay, big bro, you should have kept your brother in line, big bro. Dang. You should have kept your little bro in line, man. I don't think he's on Instagram. Can somebody verify that for me? Or maybe I'm wrong. Oh no, he's still there. Maybe he should take his Instagram down. What do you guys think? Ooh, I should use that picture in my thumbnail. Okay, hopefully his Instagram doesn't go down. Let me take a screenshot. Screenshot. Sorry, J-Rod. Keep that in case you gotta do another video. Oh, so he did make a post later. He should have done this instead of doing that video. Can you guys see? Let's see. You guys can't see. Oh, wait, let me go back. So he posted this 1 day ago. So we actually got more news. Can I zoom in? Dang it, bro. Where's my zoom? Can you guys see? Okay. So this was J-Rod. He posted a black picture. Get out of there. Dang it. He posted a black picture with just the text. So I'll read that. And I think that's it, guys. We got nothing else on this story. It says, I want to publicly and sincerely apologize to those who were directly affected by my past actions. I recognize the harm I've caused and take full accountability. To those individuals, I am truly sorry. I also ask that the public show them the respect and consideration they deserve by refraining from contacting or attempting to identify them. Their privacy and well-being should be the priority, and I hope everyone can honor that moving forward. Thank you. So he should have done that the first time. So instead of the video post he did, ChatGPT saved him. Bro, you should have typed that into ChatGPT the first time, bro.
What's up, guys? You may have heard that I have been banned from B Team, and this is true. Essentially, I've had some unhealthy interactions with women in the gym, and this has now led to me seeking help through therapy, just for my porn addiction that I've had for quite some time now, and seeking help through therapy for the past few months, as well as just further building my relationship with my beliefs, my religion, and just kind of changing my lustful ways and just working towards being a better person. So that's the update on where J-Rod has been.
So yeah, I mean that first one was not good, man. I didn't feel the sincerity. I didn't feel the sincerity. I did something. I regret. I made mistakes. I mean, you could watch Bill Clinton. Watch any main figure. You should have just copied any big figure. Copy exactly what they're saying in their speech, their kind of movements and stuff like that. I think the second post was better. This one's kind of like, this is where I am. Didn't really feel sorry, right? So we'll keep an eye on this. Again, I try to stay out the drama. The drama just, you guys love the drama. I prefer doing the breakdowns. The breakdowns where only two people watch. That's what I like doing. I like watching Mika versus Elijah Dorsey or Sanji versus Richie Martinez. But you guys like the drama. The jiu-jitsu sphere is all about the drama. And so I try to balance that as much as I can. I try to sneak in some lessons, some life lessons, and some technique lessons. But ultimately, we are interested in what's going on in our sport and who's doing what, and that's kind of the new age we're in. But I'm gonna always make sure we learn some technique. We're gonna learn some details. You guys gonna have to do that work. You ain't gonna come on my channel and not learn something. All right, guys, I think that's it. I might stream the weigh-ins tomorrow evening, East Coast time. So I'll keep you guys updated. Otherwise, I probably no stream on Saturday unless I can get someone to grab my phone and film for me. I need a film guy. Once I make more money, I get that Nicky Rod money, I'll have a full-time videographer, and then I can film everything, stream everything. But until then, we gotta go one day at a time, okay, guys? So I'm gonna play myself out. If there's any updates or anything, you guys hit me up on social media. That's the best way. You can send me whatever stories I missed. Again, I try to focus more on the current stuff. There's stuff that happened in the past. I ain't trying to dig up no bodies, guys. But I will try to cover the new stuff. The old stuff.
20 minutes.
Jesus Christ, my ears. I don't know who that is. God darn. My ears.
20 minutes. 20 minutes.
Jesus Christ. My ears are getting toasted. Danny Choppa, thank you, man. I'll be out there. ADCC Atlanta. 83 kilograms. So we'll see. I haven't done ADCC since 2019. So, I don't just talk crap online, guys. I go out there and compete. I ain't saying I'm going to win everything, but I go out there and scrap with the best of them. That's it, guys. I'm going to play myself out. If you want to support the channel, we got BJJ Mental Models. Again, they made a free course. They made a free course. Again, BJJ Mental Models has a free course on gym culture for all the RBJJ people. So be sure to check that out. I might check that out too. So it's really important, your gym culture. We talked about, it's harder for people to afford jiu-jitsu. So if your gym culture is off, they're gonna cut the jiu-jitsu classes the first thing. But if you have a good culture, good environment, that's the last thing they're gonna do is cut you off. Or they're gonna be like, man, you know what? Can I clean the mats? Can I do something to keep training? So that's it, guys. I'm gonna get out of here, get some rest. You guys stay safe. Don't overtrain. Don't listen to Guy Mendez. Okay, take time off if you need to. Okay. All right, guys. That's it. I'll see you guys possibly on Friday, but no promises. Okay. All right, guys. Bye-bye. Don't forget about that inverted gear, guys. We got that inverted gear. Offer code Alec. You guys know it. Hey, you guys. I know you guys love this song.